Okay, I want to talk about why the people that are trying to destroy this country are trying to destroy this country. And when I say that, I'm referring to people like Donald Trump, his associates, his administration, the people that support him so hardcore, groups like the KKK, groups like the Nazis. There's a reason. The thing that all these worst of these like mostly white folks have in common is the fact that they believe in something called the Great Replacement Theory. That is where they think that brown people and people of color are trying to replace all the white people. And here's the thing with that. No, we're not trying to do that. Brown people, people of color, black people, Native Americans, anyone who's not white passing. And that's a big term right there. People need to understand that. Is because people like try to make an argument like, "Oh yeah, well I'm also this, I'm also this." What matters is if you're white passing in this country. I'm going to talk more about that later. But people of color are not just trying to replace all the white people. However, one day, I believe there probably won't really be any white people. And that's not because of a choice of anyone. That's not because of some plan. That's not because of some great replacement theory. It's because of natural evolution. More and more people of color are having children with more and more white people, white passing people. And you have to think about the biggest fears of these fearful racists and bigots that just think that everything that is them is being taken away from them. They're looking at it wrong. And there's no such thing as white culture. Okay? There is such thing as black culture. There's such thing as Hispanic culture. There's such thing as native culture. It's the problem is the word white, because so many white people have culture for other things about them. Like someone can be German and there's German culture. You know, someone can be Norwegian and there's Norwegian culture. Like these are just like the biggest white nations I can think of. I know there's other people of color in these nations, but I'm talking about nations that are considered white nations. But they have their own culture. The culture disappears when these dipshit racists here in America start saying things like white power and white supremacy. Okay, well, explain to me what white culture is. What does that mean? What does white culture mean? What does it mean? What is your food? What is your music? What is white culture? You can't answer that question because it doesn't exist, and that's what they've latched onto. And the reason they've latched onto that, these fucking racists and these bigots, is because that is them acknowledging that they have white passing privilege in this country. So it doesn't matter if you're German and you have German culture. If you're white passing, a cop in this country is way less likely to pull you over and beat the shit out of you. If you are white passing in this country, you are more likely to get something like a loan. There are so many things that you get just by simply being white passing, and that is the true thing these white supremacists are fighting for. That is them acknowledging that they do in fact have white privilege, and they are fighting for that. But eventually, everyone is probably going to end up being brown. It's just how it is. Every single day, people of color are making children with white people or other people of color, and then they're having mixed race children who are then continuing the cycle. And unless there's just a real staunch, hard set group of pure whites that maintain their race and only breed amongst themselves, it's inevitable. And that is what these racists are trying. I see some of this propaganda from them that are like, breed white only, keep the superior race intact. You know what that is? That's fucking fear and cope. That's all it is. It's so much fear and so much cope because they see what's going on around them. And I think, like, when they first made black people slaves in this country and they brought them over from Africa, I mean, why do you think they did that? They did that for the same reason why everybody reacted to Jackie Robinson taking the bat the first time in a Major League Baseball game. They saw, holy shit, this is a race of people that if they knew they could, and they knew what was at stake, and they knew everything about us, they could beat the shit out of us. They could physically take us, like, insanely. And I'm not talking just about black people. I'm talking about Native people. I'm talking about Hispanic people. And there's plenty of strong, talented white people, but there's a reason they made black people slaves. And the reason they were able to pull that off without all these black people beating the shit out of them was because they had guns. They had guns. And that is why the Second Amendment is so baked into this country, especially among this group of racist white people, because they know that is the one thing that they have to keep themselves from completely fucking losing. If you put all of those people out on a field, and I'm not even talking about like battle or something that's like physically harmful, but just any sport, and you put all of them up against completely people of color, black people, Hispanic people, Native people, just anybody who's a person of color, who do you think would win? I know who would win. And they know that too, which is why they do all this shit, which is why Donald Trump and his administration and Stephen Miller are doing their goddamn best to get rid of as many brown people as they can from this country, because they see the writing on the wall, and this is their fucking shot. This is their opportunity to try to put a fucking rock in the way of that, to put a wrench in the machine. And they're doing it. But even this still won't stop evolution. Look at their reaction to Zohran Mamdani being, winning the primary for the election for the mayor of New York, and he'll most likely go on to win the election for being mayor of New York. But you've seen what they've done so quickly, immediately. They're like, Zohran Mamdani is Muslim. He's Muslim. Oh, did you guys forget about 9/11 and what the Muslims did to us? They are so fucking terrified of that guy. And it's not because he's gonna do anything to them. It's not because he's some terrorist. It's not because he wants to harm America. It's because he's progressive and he's not white. And he won. He won fair and square because Donald Trump and Elon Musk didn't think to cheat in that election. And look what happened. So they're freaking the fuck out. They're all freaking the fuck out. And it all comes down to fear and bigotry. And I mean bigotry and racism, the root of all of that shit is fear. It's all fear. They fear that they are going to lose their white privilege that they know they have. And they're doing their damnedest to save it. So with that all being said, I hope people understand that I'm half black and I'm half white. My mom was white, my dad was black, and I'm just right in the middle. So I feel that I get to fucking say what the fuck I want to say about both of these things, both of these types of people, because I'm literally both of them. And if you're someone that wants to try to fucking call me racist or say anything that's like that, guess what? That's also just more cope. That's also just more cope. And last thing, to just take care of anybody who might try to make this stupid fucking argument, well, what about like the people of color who support Trump? Uncle Tom's, all of them, every single one, including the white gay people. Anybody who is a person of color or they're in the LGBTQ community and you support Donald Trump, you're a motherfucking Uncle Tom. That's all those people are. That's what I think.